Hey guys, this is Atco. I want to talk today about my slot cars, the cars themselves, and a easy way to get the contact shoes cleaned. You know, all these little HO cars, the reason they run is that on the track you'll see, two tracks on them. One is the power on one side and the other is the ground, and that's what they get their power into their little motors. They have these little, they call the shoes, that are little contacts that keep the electricity going across the tracks. And the problem that you run into by running these things around is that the contacts get burned. And there's not much you can do about it. It's just part of electricity and burning through the track. Now, they'll run fine for a while, and then they will start slowing down. You might have a little stall on the track, especially maybe a change a curve or something, and you'll find that the shoes started to get a little burned. Then you find that little burn starts affecting the electricity contact. You start losing the connection, and then you'll get the stall. Now, what you do is you clean them, and then you're fine. A lot of people will just take your shoe, take a little bit of sandpaper, go over top of those till you get them clean again. That works, sure, it works fine. There's two problems you got to do with this though. Sandpaper is very abrasive, and not all sandpaper is the same. You can get a grid that is very mild, and it'll clean up and not take a whole lot of the contact itself. Or you can get one that has a grid that will allow you to clean it really fast, but also the abrasive will also take a little bit of the contact with it. And then the other problem that you have, most of these have a little spring to keep these from moving around during the track. And you got to be really careful that these little springs, they might actually be in some of the models, it's actually a little spring, and some of the others, just the contact shoes themselves, the way they are bent a little bit, they will have a spring look to it. Either way, it doesn't take much to damage these. They're very delicate, and if you get it bent, you'd be surprised that it's hard to get it back where it should be, and it can affect a lot how well it works. So the two things you have to watch with these little cars is that how much of that you're going to use to clean these things, and the other is if you use too much pressure on cleaning these, you can damage the springs, and very hard to get it back. Alright, I'll show you what I do, a quick way to do it, an easy way to do it, a safe way to do it. I use a little Dremel drill. It's I bought this thing on Walmart. It's brand new, rechargeable, so you don't have to plug it in and have the cord hanging around. It's the 7300 model, runs about 25 bucks. It's not real powerful if you're doing things like cutting a lot of metal and things like that. It won't have the power for it, but for the little things that I'm going to do, it's got plenty of power. And I like this thing because it's small. It only uses a rechargeable battery, so I can take it anywhere I want, move it around, and I don't have to worry about cords on anything. And I love them. 25 bucks. Now along with it, it comes with a few attachments. One that does come is, it's like a sandpaper wheel. It works pretty good. I've used it, and it works great cleaning the contacts, but the grit of it is 100. That will work, but I wanted something to be a little bit more polishing, not so much damaging the contacts. So I looked at their other attachments that you can buy, and I found this. And this is, it's like a real soft wheel. It's not sandpaper. It's like these, it's like little tiny steel wires, but it's very small, and it actually gives the same effect of a 300 grit sandpaper. You know, you get two speeds out of this thing, one low and one high. I had to pay for the extra wheel. I think I got two of the wheels for like $2.50. I had to put in a different shaft to put that in, which is also, you can get anywhere. It's one of the attachments that you can buy, and I think that was like $2. So I got, you know, $5 for this extra thing in there. And I really like it. It does a great job. It does about the minimum you can do on any damage to the shoes itself, and I love it. Now you'll see, this one apparently had been used quite a lot. Still running fine, but when I look at the contacts, they are kind of burned. So I'm going to show you how I just started using this thing. Now this is where I would do one of these cars. You start looking off to the back of it. Take my little Dremel, put it on low. You've seen that it's really cleaned up now, and it took just 30 seconds, just barely touch it to clean everything, and it does very little damage to the contacts. Okay, and I can see that it did a really nice job. A very minimum amount of wear on the shoes themselves, and the wheel itself is you don't have to hard any pressure on it. You can just barely hitting the shoes, let the wheel do the work, and it'll pull off that stuff without damaging the springs. Okay, so I do that for all my cars. And keeps them in good shape. So that's it for now. Just thought I'd show it to you guys. For now, this is Atco, signing off.